Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you my player ratings from our 3-2 win against Liverpool in the FA Cup 4th round. So Dean Henderson, he's gonna get a 7 out of 10. I thought Dean Henderson made some good saves in the game. And I think at some point Dean Henderson will become our number one goalkeeper. Because, Dean Henderson has been impressive in the games he's played in this season, and he has obviously now got that experience behind him. Because he did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, had loan spells with Grimsby and Shrewsbury in the past. Dean Henderson has been at United since the age of 14, so he has been part of the club for several years. And in the summer, he signed a 6-year contract with Man United. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He weren't superb. Defensively did good. But he didn't get in Liverpool's half that much. So again, he lacks that attacking intent. And that's our concerns about Wan-Bissaka, his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. So yeah, just a 6 out of 10 for him. Victor Lindelof, now I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. He didn't enjoy the best of games. He failed to cut out several passes. Didn't really do well defensively. I definitely prefer Eric Bailly ahead of Victor Lindelof. Harry Maguire, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Did okay defensively at times, but I thought at times he struggled. And I think, Harry Maguire has improved. He's bounced back from his early season troubles because he had that incident in Greece before the start of the season. But despite, him being good in so many games this season, he still wasn't worth that £80 million that we got him for from Leicester, and he is our current captain. So just a 6 out of 10 for him. Luke Shaw, I'm going to give him a 8 out of 10. Luke Shaw made some very, very good runs down that left-hand side. Also put some very, very good crosses into the box, so his end product was there. Defensively, quite good. He was also good in the game at Anfield last weekend in the league, had Mohamed Salah in his pocket. The only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. So yeah, he deserves an 8 out of 10. He was very, very good, especially in that first half. Paul Pogba, he's going to get a 8 out of 10. Paul Pogba played well. His work rate was good. He got forward well. Won the first ball, won the second balls. Had some chances as well in that first half. Paul Pogba has really, really improved since he come back from that ankle injury that he had earlier on in the season. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury, and he had a minor problem not so long ago. Paul Pogba also did well in the Fulham game. Obviously scored the winner in that one. That was an exceptional goal. Hit it with his left foot. Went into the far bottom corner, and he was around 20 yards out. Now, it did recently say that Paul Pogba's considering making a U-turn at the club. That means staying at Manchester United, potentially past the summer. And he could end up signing a new long-term contract at the club. I think his future is on hold until the end of the season. Now, earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. So he's under contract on Man United until June 2022. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. And recently, Paul Pogba contradicted his agent Mini Oriola for the second time. His agent Mini Oriola came out and told 2 Sport last month that his client's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. You know, Solskjaer said earlier on this season that Pogba can be convinced to stay at the club if the club win trophies. But yeah, you know, Pogba looks certain to leave Man United, but he is now inspiring our title challenge. He has had a long-running transfer saga. He has been linked to a move to PSG. It said the other week that Mini Oriola was talking with PSG, and he said a few weeks ago that Pochettino identified Pogba as his top target. He's been relentlessly linked with a return to Juventus. Swap deals have been high on the agenda. Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, and he's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. We revealed our asking price a few weeks ago. It said we want around 75 million. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he said that Paul Pogba will leave in the summer, providing that an agreement is reached. And from Duncan Castle's perception, he says that Paul Pogba's trying to get a summer move away from Man United, you know, with these recent performances. This is what his 5th season at the club since he rejoined. He's made over 100 appearances in all competitions and he's won 3 trophies at the club so far. Don't forget, Pogba gave an interview, was it to Sky Sports, before the game against Liverpool in the league, and he made an admission saying that we're not on Liverpool's level as yet, but he said we can win the Premier League, and he was talking about his frustrations of being on the bench. And recently, Solskjaer's been playing Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role. Obviously, he wasn't in that advanced role today. So he had 8 out of 10 for him. Scott McTominay, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. Like I mentioned on my match reaction, couldn't really get into the game. Had some good moments here and there. I thought he got crowded out far too many times and he lost the possession a few times. So just a 5 out of 10 for Scott McTominay. Donny van der Beek, 6 out of 10. He was quiet in the game, was Donny van der Beek. Obviously, prior to the game, he said that Donny van der Beek was going to be involved in the game. Don't forget, Solskjaer made an admission saying that Donny van der Beek is unhappy at Manchester United because of his lack of playing time. And ESPN recently said that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van der Beek. Solskjaer spoke about him earlier on this season, and you know, he insists that Van der Beek has a bright future at Man United, and he tips him to emulate Fred and Lindelof by succeeding at the club. We got Donny van der Beek in a deal worth £40 million, paid £35 million up front, and there was £5 million in add-ons, and he signed a 5-year contract on Man United, so he's under contract with the club until 2025. Edwin van der Sar, the Ajax CEO, was talking about him not so long ago, and he said he's spoken to people at Man United about Van der Beek, and he said Man United remain confident that Van der Beek will be a success at Old Trafford. And he mentioned that he's been showing fantastic attitude in training despite his lack of playing time. And Ronald de Boer urged Donny van der Beek to leave to boost his chances for the Euros. Yes, so he did start in the number 10 today. He can play in 3 different roles, can't he? He can play as a box-to-box midfielder, That was his predominant position at Ajax. You can put him as a number 10 and you can also put him out wide. So just a 6 out of 10 for him. Marcus Rashford, 8 out of 10. Marcus Rashford was causing Liverpool all sorts of problems on that left-hand side. Marcus Rashford showed genuine pace, got some very good runs in behind. Also got his name on the score sheet. Rashford played a lovely threaded ball through for Mason Greenwood's goal, so Rashford also got an assist in the game. Marcus Rashford is really improved as a Man United player. He's had some bad games, hasn't he? Rashford's been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. I think he's more effective out wide as Rashford, I've always said it, but sometimes we do play him centrally, so 8 out of 10 for him. Mason Greenwood, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Mason Greenwood obviously had an early chance. It was saved from Allinson. Mason Greenwood obviously scored our equaliser. It was a very, very good finish from Mason Greenwood. Also got the assist for Marcus Rashford's goal and played a lovely threaded ball through. So he had a good game, did Mason Greenwood. Haven't really had much of a perception on him this season because he hasn't played as much as we expected. But don't forget, earlier on in the season, he had personal issues. He had injury at one point and he was out with illness. But Ollie's been defending him a lot this season. Mason Greenwood's got a hell of a lot of development in him. At the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. Edison Cavani, 6 out of 10. Edison Cavani was quiet for the vast majority of that game, if I'm going to be honest with you. But obviously Cavani did have that headed chance that hit the post. And obviously he was the one that won the free kick for the winning goal. But to be honest with you, Cavani was very, very good in the game against Fulham. Got his name on the score sheet. And his movement in and around the box against Fulham was superb. But yeah, I think Cavani has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Not so long ago, he was serving a 3-match suspension for the racist comment that he'd put on social media last month. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had confirmed he had apologised for that. Solskjaer was talking about him earlier on this season, saying that Cavani is definitely a starter for Man United. He said we're already looking to extend his contract, and he revealed the first thing that Cavani asked him when he came in, and that was whether he could wear the number 7 shirt. But yeah, we got him on a free transfer. Signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option for second year. So I'll give him credit. But was quiet today. We brought some substitutions on in the game. Now, obviously, Bruno Fernandes came on. Going to give him a 8 out of 10. He made an instant impact when he came on. I think he was the one that put the cross in for that Cavani chance, if I'm right. Obviously scored the winner from that free kick. Very, very good free kick from Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has been at Man United now almost a year. In most of his games at Man United, he's been very, very consistent. There's only been the odd couple of games where he has been off pace. He's good at creating chances as well. Don't forget he won Player of the Month for December, but he's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Best player, and certainly the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, because he has made the difference in the team. Don't forget, Bruno Fernandes got a lot of Liverpool fans talking prior to the game because he said he defends Liverpool. He says they're not playing poorly despite their winless run. We also brought Fred on in the game. Going to give him a 6 out of 10. And we also brought Anthony Martial on in the game. Can't really give him a rating, to be honest with you, because he wasn't even on for that long, really, was he? So that is your player ratings from our 3-2 win against Liverpool. You know, we have progressed to the 5th round of the FA Cup. We will be playing West Ham in a few weeks' time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has beaten Jurgen Klopp for the first time as Manchester United manager. And it is the first time we have beaten Liverpool since 2018. Like I said, Liverpool's record at Old Trafford is poor. They haven't beaten us at Old Trafford since 2014. They won that game back in 2014 3-0 in the Premier League. But certainly, it was a good game. Like I said on my match reaction, you know, we played well, especially the first half. You know, Liverpool also had their moments in the game. You know, Mohamed Salah, he scored both of Liverpool's goals. The first goal, he chipped Dean Henderson. Mohamed Salah also had chances without scoring. And obviously there was narratives earlier on this season saying that Mohamed Salah has been unhappy at Liverpool because there has been games this season where he hasn't really been clinical enough in front of goal. Firmino obviously got both the assists for Salah's goals. Firmino enjoyed a pretty good game. He had some good touches in that second half, and he's enjoyed some bad periods as a Liverpool player, as Roberto Firmino. Like I mentioned, Trent Alexander-Arnold had a pretty good game for them. You know, he got forward well. Had a couple of chances. Had that chance from the free kick. Had that chance what produced a fantastic save from Dean Henderson. Trent Alexander-Arnold's been out of form in recent weeks because his crossing hasn't been to his usual standards. James Milner wasn't particularly bad. Obviously, James Milner missed the head for our first goal. Don't forget, James Milner had that fantastic chance that went just over the bar before Liverpool got their equaliser. I've got to say that Curtis Jones also enjoyed a pretty good game for them. But Liverpool are missing players. That's understandable from a Liverpool perspective. Obviously, you know, they've got Virgil van Dijk. He's out for the season. Joe Gomez, he's out for the season. So they are Liverpool's two main centre-halves. Obviously, Diego Jota's still out with injury for them. He's made an impact to Liverpool, to be fair. You know, Liverpool got him from Wolves last summer. Naby Keita's still out with injury. Maybe if he'd have been available, he could have been involved today. Jordan Henderson recently sustained an injury. Tsikma's has just recently come back from injury for them. But Liverpool are in a bad vein of form. You know, losing today. You know, winless in their last 5 Premier League games. Burnley beat them in their last league game 1-0. Burnley ended their 68-match unbeaten run at Anfield in the Premier League. So they are going through a bad period at the moment, and Liverpool's next game is Tottenham. By the way, Ian Wright has changed his mind on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think Alan Shearer praises Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for his handling of Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola. But yeah, a good chance we can win the FA Cup. We are the second most successful team in FA Cup history. You know, we've won 12. Last time we won it was back under Louis van Gaal era back in 2016. As for Liverpool, they've won the FA Cup quite a few times, but they haven't won it since 2006. But to be honest with you, the FA Cup hasn't really been their priority. But yeah, it was a much, much better game, you know, than last week's game in the league at Anfield. I thought that game last week at Anfield was pretty poor. You know, but I thought in the game at Anfield last week we did very, very well defensively. We had more clear-cut chances than Liverpool. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes had that fantastic chance. Also, Paul Pogba had that fantastic chance. But I think we was happy with the draw than Liverpool. Solskjaer obviously said, Liverpool are playing well. This was prior to the game today, despite their winless run. Solskjaer did a good press conference, prior to this game, by the way. He obviously said he wants us to replicate the spirit of 1999 by beating Liverpool in the FA Cup again. He did confirm we was going to rotate the squad, which obviously we did. He obviously praised Wan-Bissaka. Don't forget, last week, Jurgen Klopp criticised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics in the 0-0 draw in the league game. Obviously, Klopp wasn't happy the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer set up in that one, and obviously in Solskjaer's press conference prior to this game in the Cup, Solskjaer hit back at Jurgen Klopp. And he also mentioned, that we was attacking too. So it's just good to beat Liverpool. Even though they are going through a bad period, they are still a very, very good team. Good teams go through a bad period. Jurgen Klopp will be under some kind of pressure, of how bad they have been recently, but certainly won't get sacked. Because like I've said, Jurgen Klopp is the best manager they've probably had in this generation. Jurgen Klopp's been at Liverpool now, nearly 6 years. Don't forget, he's won 4 trophies as Liverpool manager. Last season he won the Premier League with Liverpool. That was Liverpool's first title in 30 years. He won the Super Cup and he won the FIFA Club World Cup. And he won the Champions League this season before. And Liverpool have now won the Champions League 6 times. Last season, Jurgen Klopp extended his contract with Liverpool until 2024. And Liverpool is the third club in his managerial career. Before he was at Liverpool, he was at Dortmund. Won a few trophies at Dortmund. And before he was at Dortmund, he was at Mainz 05. So yeah, our next game is Sheffield United in the league. We certainly should be winning that one. Sheffield United are bottom of the league. Obviously, they're going to get relegated this season. They've only won 1 game in the Premier League. I've been very surprised at Sheffield United, to be honest with you, because they actually did very, very well last season. Did they finish, 8th or 9th? I'm surprised Chris Wilder's not been sacked, reflecting how abysmal Sheffield United have been this season. I think Chris Wilder's been Sheffield United manager since 2016. Still got them all the way from League 1 though to the Premier League. Before he was at Sheffield, he was at Northampton. He was at Oxford as well. He's managed Halifax before and Alfred Town. We did beat Sheffield United earlier on in the season 3-2 at Bramall Lane. We beat him in this fixture at Old Trafford last season 3-0. Anthony Martial had scored a hat-trick. And after Sheffield, it is Arsenal away, and that is going to be a tough test. But yeah, I think definitely now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right manager for Man United. He has made good progress this season. But I've got to say, he's made good progress in the last year or so. He's got us top of the Premier League. The performances are improving. Players are improving as well. We've just got to keep, our key players in form. We're unbeaten in our last 17 Premier League away games. And, we equalled our record from the 98-99 season. If we do beat Arsenal at the end of this month, we will equal that record. We are unbeaten in our last 13 Premier League games. But yeah, there's a lot of United fans now that think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a long-term manager for Man United. And, there's a lot of United fans thinking that he is going to be a success at the club. But Solskjaer has received a lot of criticism in the 2 years or so he's been at the club, especially earlier on in the season, reflecting how inconsistent we was. But obviously with how good we've been in recent months and all of that, our perceptions have started to change on Solskjaer. But we deserve credit for sticking with him, because he could have easily been sacked as Man United manager, because we have endured bad periods under him. You know, you can say he was lucky not to be sacked after us getting knocked out of the Champions League. He was lucky not to be sacked after our 6-1 thrashing at Tottenham. He was lucky not to be sacked at the first part of last season. You know, if we hadn't beaten Everton in the league earlier on in the season, I think there'd have been a very, very good chance of him getting sacked. But even when we endured the bad periods under Ollie, you know, Woodward assured that his job was safe. And obviously Ed Woodward has promised that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's a good chance we can win the league this season. We're halfway through the season now. We're top. It would be a remarkable achievement to win the Premier League. You know, if we do win the Premier League, it will be our first Premier League title since 2013 and our 21st title overall. Then if we win the Premier League, I can assure he's the long-term manager for Man United. We can win the FA Cup. That's another chance of a trophy. We can win the Europa League. I think we're going to win at least one trophy this season, but Solskjaer knows how important it is for him to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy now for just over 4 years. Solskjaer's been Man United manager over 2 years. Like I say, he's learned quite a lot since he came in. He's gained some managerial experience. You know, we appointed him in December 2018 and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. And I think reflect on his progress, like I've said on my recent videos. He's on course to earn himself a new contract. Gary Neville believes the same thing. He's more than halfway through his 3-year contract now. He signed a 3-year contract when he got the job permanently back in March 2019. So I can't believe the position we are in. You know, you wouldn't have thought we'd have been in this position with how poor we was earlier on this season. But it just shows you some good results do change the complexion of things. And I said to you on my video yesterday, didn't I? What Man United have got to do to secure the title. And that's obviously good performances persisting, players staying in form. We've got to keep, obviously, our key players fit. Got to start beating the big teams. You know, we've beaten a big team today in Liverpool. That's a good start. So we've struggled against the top teams this season, haven't we, really? But don't forget, you know, we've still got to go to Stamford Bridge. We've still got to go to the Emirates at the end of this month. We've got to play Liverpool at Old Trafford in the league near the end of the season. We've got to play Leicester at home. We've got to go away to Tottenham, City away. So there's our chance to prove a point. Now, obviously, Solskjaer gave us an update on our January transfer plans, and he did say that signings are unlikely. Sky Sports recently said that Solskjaer says signings are long-term, not a quick fix. By the way, Solskjaer said our fine form justifies the club's support. So what he means in that aspect is that, you know, the backing he has received recently, you know, has played a part in our good vein of form. This January transfer window, Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as Man United manager, but, you know, Solskjaer admits there could be further more departures. Now, obviously, we recently saw Timothy Foster meant to leave. Solskjaer's confirmed Romero and Rojo are free to leave because their contracts won't be extended. You know, Jesse Lingard, I think he should leave. ESPN have recently said that Solskjaer's reluctantly agreed to let Lingard leave on loan this month. But he apparently won't be allowed to leave Manchester because I think he actually wants to stay in the Premier League. But I think it said we was going to make a decision on his future after this game against Liverpool. So we should be making a decision on his future now. Igalo, his loan expires at the end of this month. So he'll leave. There's been rumours of Daniel James leaving. because he's lost his place in the team, and there's been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan, and I think some more players could leave Man United in the summer. Earlier on today, I give you the news on Upamecano. You know, we go head to head with Liverpool in the race for him. Bayern Munich have recently been emerged as the favourites to get him. You know the news on Rice. You know the news on Haaland. You know the news on Kalidou Koulibaly. I still think there's 3 areas where Man United need to strengthen up. So yeah, Solskjaer deserves credit. You know, he's got us to the 5th round of the Cup. Beat West Ham within the quarters. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final earlier on this season. You know, did well last season in his first full season. Made good signings as Man United manager. So, there you go. So anyway, guys, I'll be on with all videos tomorrow. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.